Today on our show, we talk about Jon Moxley applying for a very interesting trademark. And could Private Party beat the Young Bucks for the AEW World Tag Team Championships?
And Mark Davis is back. What would he say to Kyle Fletcher? And Camille and Stat have themselves a match. Was it any good? It was all right.
Not only did we get 2 more matches announced for Full Gear, alongside the illustrious 0-hour match with Big Double Chunk Chocolate Cookie AJ Boom, I guess Bobby Lashley showed up. More of that later. Hit it, Dave!
Moxley says we're ready.
Yep.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Daver here, and with me, as usual, Chad and Chandler. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey, how we doing?
Happy Halloween, boys! This probably won't go out on Halloween, but it's the Fright Night Dynamite. We're recording it on Dynamite. I don't care. Happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you have a good one.
Yeah, I came dressed up as a nondescript member of the NWO.
My favorite. Yeah.
There were so many, like, pick one.
You're
Chandler,
Virgil.
I'll be Virgil. Chandler, you are some kind of vegetable man?
I am the hit YouTuber Nikocado Avocado.
Beautiful.
I'm blaming Nancy for this. Don't you look at me like that. There you go.
And,
I got skulls.
Chad's part of the Hells Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fun. Great episode of Dynamite. We all loved it. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and dust off our old elbows. An elbow drop the it out of that like button. Power bomb that subscribe button. And please leave a comment. Let us know what you're thinking about anything wrestling related. We want to know. We want to talk about it. Yeah. But yeah, before we get into this really good episode of Dynamite, I wanted to talk real quick about an interesting trademark applied by Jon Moxley. Could be the new name of the faction. I don't think BCC is doing it for me. Like, they're not that anymore.
No. And
William
I keep
Regal.
almost always calling them BBC, and that's just not cool.
William Regal and Bryan Danielson are gone. Marina Shafir's in there. Pac is in there. Like, it's just not the BCC anymore. And the BCC isn't that, like, scary, you know? It's like, oh, okay. Like, they're here, whatever. But, like, oh, Death Riders. Sorry to spoil it. I'm shitting my pants.
Yeah. On October 29th, Jon Moxley filed for the trademark term Death Riders. And people are speculating that could be the new name of the BCC. I love it. That's the title of his New Japan theme, which they're now using in AEW, and the name of his finishing move. So I think that works. It sounds like a great all-encompassing term for the people, all his disciples.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. But yeah, I think that might be all the news I have heard about. I guess other than Nick Jackson apparently has a separated shoulder and might need a little time off, but we'll get into him and Matthew skedaddling on out of AEW in a hurry during our review.
As of my knowledge, they still have the tag team titles, correct?
Yes.
They didn't lose them in a quite fantastic Dynamite match. That didn't happen. They did announce 2 Full Gear matches on the show. It's pretty nice. It was we got the main event. Jonathan Moxley versus the Orangest Cassidy for the title. That'll be pretty neat. And then it was Hangman Adam Page versus Jay White part. Will we get a spec or a stipulation? Who knows?
I don't think they should do a steel cage.
You shouldn't do anything he's done with Swerve in the last year. So no death match, no steel cage. Do something else. I don't know what, but do something else.
Ooh, they haven't done a mimosa match in quite some time.
Ooh. When's the last time we've gotten a pig pen match in wrestling? Can we do that? Would it work?
Or we can go like real old school and do a bra and panties match.
I like that. I like that. Come on, we got Punjabi Prison. Can Tony Khan bring that one back?
Yeah,
we haven't seen one of those in AEW in a bit.
Great Khali is all elite. You heard it here first.
He's the one like Hangman's about to get out, and then Great Khali comes out and costs him the match, and Jay White sneaks out. Come on, it's book not that hard, Tony. That's all you have to book.
Love it.
Hell in a Cell. What about that? Can they do that? Is that allowed?
Heck in a Cage.
They
could probably do that.
I was thinking like I was thinking like a last man standing match, but that's just a death match. A death match you can just also lose by submission.
Maybe a strap match.
That could be good.
Dog collar.
I don't think it's that hot yet, for a dog collar match, but I like a strap.
They could make it that hot from now until Full Gear.
They've got a couple weeks.
But yeah, hopefully they do something a little different. I think that would benefit everyone all around. But yeah, fantastic episode of Dynamite. This is episode 265 of Dynamite. We're coming close on the tying up with Nitro, aren't we?
Oh yeah. Are we doing a Nitro Nitro tonight?
I already have Nitro 265 up, but
perfect.
Let me be clear. I might have looked at some of the matches before. It's not as funny as the last time I was here with Vince Russo winning the title. I'll just spoil it. The title's already back on Booker T. So another classic reign for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship in the books.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, they're coming from Cleveland, Ohio here on Dynamite.
Wait, I thought they were in Cincinnati. Jericho said it was in Cincinnati. He wouldn't lie.
Yeah.
He would come on.
Lie.
If there's anyone in AEW I can trust, it's Chris Jericho.
True.
He has quite the legacy, 9-time world champion. Real stand-up guy.
He's the Nueve. Can we just talk about the Jericho? Nothing else mattered but the Jericho segment. That's the only thing I liked on this Dynamite. Other than that, it sucked. I hated it. And I quit this. I'm kidding. It was a fantastic episode of Dynamite.
You don't need to hear him talking about how he is going to, in the future, at some point, elevate Ring of Honor. Don't tell me. Do it.
Right?
Yeah. That's what I'm glad you caught that, because if you were going to say, oh, he said he's going there, I'm like, he's not there yet. So I'm glad we're all calling him out on his bullshit.
Yeah. Don't tell me you're going to do it. Do it. Which I don't know how he's going to do that behind a $9 paywall.
Here's how he's going to do it. He's going to bring the Ring of Honor World title to Dynamite and wrestle for it on Dynamite. So it's on national television every week. That's how you elevate Ring of Honor for that Ring of Honor TV show we're going to get, right?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, we had a big debut at the end of the show. A long time coming. I did read that it was definitely pushed back from Wrestle Dream. It was supposed to happen then, but they didn't want to take away from Bryan Danielson's career-ending match. We got a big return, Mark Davis of Aussie Open. So glad to see that dude back, and he can. He was a little shaky at first on the mic, but he can do okay. Like
Yeah.
I have no qualms with his mic work. Kyle Fletcher's watching him improve week by week, month by month has been a real treat. Like he's super good on the mic
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, he's really good. I kind of like how his sort of transformation where he just kind of looks like mini me of Don Callis.
Yeah.
He said what he needed to do, and now he can team up with Osprey, and Osprey can do the talking.
Yeah.
Not to besmirch Mark Davis at all. I quite like him, but Osprey's definitely a better talker, and he should be the one doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a fantastic AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Pay-per-view quality, Private Party versus the Young Bucks.
There was a chant for tag team wrestling. I can't
Yeah.
remember. I don't think I've ever heard that before. Like, I know it has happened in past AEW that I haven't seen, but like, genuinely, when's the last time that happened?
Yeah, they may have restored the feeling for tag team wrestling. Oh, I said the thing.
Hey, Bully Ray restored the feeling for me already. Okay, I don't need any more restoration. I'm restored.
Good. But yeah, that was a incredible match. Tons of drama, tons of false finishes, a great save by Mark Quinn. Zay looked like a freaking
Yeah.
beast, kicking out of everything that they threw at him. Um, yeah, big win for Private Party. They earned it. They booked that right. They didn't
You
need
know,
Stokely Hathaway.
you know who the unsung hero for me in that match was?
Who?
Christopher Daniels. He was the one that motivated them. Don't be like us. One of us is on TNA for Christ's sake.
That worried me when they did that little segment. I was like, "Oh no."
Funny story too, by the way. Benji, when we were at the Prestige show, he actually used to hang out with SCU like house parties and stuff because they all lived in California. He went up to them. He's like, "Hey, man." Like to like shoot the shit. He's like, I used to watch you when you guys wrestled in front of 20 people, and then Kazarian just points to Scorpio Sky. He goes, he's still in AEW. He still wrestles in front of 20 people.
Uh, okay, here's another Kazarian story. I was trying to get a signed portrait of Scorpio Sky at Prestige, and I couldn't figure out my Venmo. I couldn't figure out my PayPal. Couldn't get it to work, and so I just handed the phone to Scorpio Sky, like did it real quick, transferred the money, and Kazarian's like, "What are you trying to do? Transfer the deed to your house?"
Oh, that's funny. I don't have a
Uh,
Kazarian story. I'm very sorry. I wish I did. He seems like a lovely man.
Those
yep.
guys are freaking hilarious.
Yeah, yeah, it was great, dude. I got my picture though, signed. Um, yeah, yeah, back to that tag match, unbelievable. Great moment for Private Party. 5 years later, they finally got the job done. Great.
And the crowd was so behind them. That was a great pop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got up in the crowd like they did when they won that match 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, it was good. Tony Khan tweeted a picture of him with Private Party too, congratulating him. Uh, 5 years later, something in the caption.
Because
Yeah, great,
5 years
great
ago, the
stuff.
picture had the Bucks in it. So that's why it was kind of like they took a picture like that 5 years ago
Uh-huh.
with Tony, Private Party, and the Bucks. Now, it was a very nice moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well deserved. I'm glad it's
Interference.
DQ,
Ref, you
DQ.
suck. Ref, you suck.
yeah. No, it was really cathartic. And it felt like really organic. Like what they first he come back from injury and felt a little shaky and stuff, but like they got on a roll, and by the end, holy crap, they delivered. And yeah, they deserved that win.
Brian Alvarez described this as 20 minutes of 2019 AEW. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Yeah, I
Yep.
hope they can get some momentum behind the tag division, because if they can keep putting stuff out like that, man, that's tag team wrestling's back.
You should have Private Party should be kind of like defending champions, like maybe not every other week, but quite often they should want to defend those belts against like anyone. Like,
Yeah,
just pick any team that can be beat and just
yeah,
like have Private Party go on a tear for a bit.
yeah. GYV. They just don't touch my outrunners. If they do that, I quit the podcast.
I was gonna say the Outrunners, and I was like, wait, no, I don't want them to lose.
Yeah.
Let's book who they're gonna face at Full Gear. What are our
Ooh.
predictions?
I already have the roster page open for the C2 thing we're gonna do later.
I'm gonna do it just pure brain power because I have
Wait, you have that? Lucky.
I had a bad feeling from this Dynamite, and it's like the good bad feeling that you should feel like when there's big scary shit like Moxley running around, and not the like, oh, boohoo, booking's gonna be bad, but like, what if their first opponents at Full Gear are Pac and Claudio?
See, that was my first thought, but they're the trios champs.
They want all the power. They want everything.
Yeah, that's a big briefcase. They can fit a lot of belts in there.
Yeah. We just get more briefcases.
Why would you do that? You have a briefcase.
But in case they can't fit, get more. But I would say, I was kind of like, what if they gave us like, because I was thinking like, like, I'm all for this. I have nothing against this. This is genuinely like push Private Party a bit, but it's also like you have this big scary BCC running around, right? Aren't they going to just snatch those up?
BBC. True.
Did I say
No.
BBC or did I say BCC?
You said BCC.
Thank God. Moxley and the gang. I'm gonna go just like the Devil Dumpling gang, because we couldn't like, we are like United Kingdom, United whatever. I think it is United Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
No, it's Undisputed Kingdom. Oh my God. See, that's why we call him Devil Dumpling Gang, because nobody remembers. It's just gonna be Moxley and his boys and Marina Shafir.
So that's your official prediction. Who will it be?
I'm saying, unfortunately, it's going to be Pac and Claudio.
Okay, how about you? Got one yet, Chad?
Do
you want
possibilities? Do you want a goofy one or a serious one?
You give it your real, like, be real, be serious. Like, what who do you really think it'll be? I got 3 choices that I think could work.
Oh man. Shoot. Man, who has Private Party even interacted with outside of all this?
Top Flight, he's back.
I don't think he is back, but
yeah,
I don't feel that.
Oh, I know. It's got to be Lance Archer, Brian Cage.
Oh, damn,
the flippy guys
Chad.
Against the big guys. That's fun matchmaking right there.
That's better than all 3 of mine. But so third runner up for me is Brian Keith, Big Bill. Second runner up is MXM.
I forgot about them. I like them too.
And then my first choice, they got time to do it, a heel Acclaimed.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They need to turn heel.
They need to do something.
Yeah, just do anything. So, okay, yeah, all good guesses. I like Brian Cage and Lance Archer, though. I think that's got to be it. But do they need to be losing?
Yeah, probably. I think the only people that Like, if you're saying they should lose them at Full Gear, like that, you can't. The only one that should be doing it is like BCC or like I don't know. I don't know. I just have this bad feeling in my tummy that they're gonna lose them. But then again, like Lance Archer and Brian Cage probably shouldn't lose right now.
True.
Right.
I don't. But it's a hell of a pick.
It'd be. I just think it'd be. I love the matchup. Like, the big beefy boys against the crazy flippy boys. That'd be a fun show.
Fantastic underdog.
And my goofy pick was gonna be Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah.
You know what?
They're not even a team anymore, are they?
The Blade is injured.
Yeah.
And the Butcher's a face now.
Okay.
What about Edge and Christian? Oh, wait. Ooh.
That actually be kind of hip.
It is kind of funny too. Oh yeah, I like the Righteous. I like the Righteous. I like Dutch a lot. He's just big boss man reincarnated. Like, love it. But it's kind of funny too that we used to have Hardy Party. They're both tag team champions in different promotions now.
Who?
The Hardys.
Who? I don't know. I don't know. I've never heard of these people before.
Long before you were born, there was this tag team called the Hardys.
Is this a new local indie talent tag team?
Yeah.
No, they're old legends. Like they go back to like the Bruno Sammartino days.
Oh, so I think I have heard of them.
If you can find yourself a VHS player, I'm sure you could watch yourself some matches of that.
Should I go back to the first WrestleMania where it was the Bushwhackers versus the Hardy Boys?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why you did the
because
that's what the Bushwhackers did, right? It
was how do you versus yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, also we got a big return match for Adam Cole. Was it too early for that surgically repaired ankle with a cadaver bone in it?
Right. Ooh. Spooky for Halloween.
Spooky. No, it was a fun match. There's some people poo-pooing it online about him going after or relying on the ankle scare a little too much, but I think it worked. I mean, for his first match back, like you got to put that doubt in everyone's mind.
Yeah, I think the problem was having Buddy Matthews as his opponent. That dude just always exceeds expectations. Like he was fucking great in that match, and when he's on the other end, when he's on the end of losing, every match he sells so well when he's getting his ass beat. Every time it's like, oh, is he really injured? Like, no, he's just really good at his job.
Yeah, he's highlighted so infrequently that when he does come back, you kind of forget about him. You're like, oh my gosh, this guy's amazing, and then he loses, and you're like, come on, man. Like, I think his all-time AEW singles record is like 3-9, which is kind of crazy for how good he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a low win record I saw on his bottom third when he came out. I was like, ooh, it's not that good. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff happened on this episode. Very little that I had to gripe about. We'll get to it when we get to it. But yeah, you guys want to get right into it?
Yeah.
Do the thing. Do the. Oh wait, no, that's later.
We started out with a spooky Halloween video package narrating what's supposed to happen later on. Thought it was fun. I love Halloween. I like corny, spooky Halloween narration. So that worked for me, brother. Then we get a Orange Cassidy promo, which isn't something he usually does. But after last week with the Kentucky Gentleman, Chucky T, getting taken out by I'm going to call them the Death Riders now, getting taken out by them. He had to make a statement. So let's see. Uh, so yeah, he says he's not a leader. It's not who he is. Last week, he slid in the ring and watched his best friend Chucky T get his neck crushed by a steel chair. He looked around. He was surrounded by people that he should have been. He admires their courage, and they're all talented, but they're all very young. And a lot of people forget he's like 40 something.
Yeah, 41.
So he's like a veteran, like a locker room leader,
I thought he
basically.
was like 26. I thought he was like so young.
He's almost my
41.
age, dude. Like, look at all this gray. He looks good. I feel ripped off.
I
Yeah,
did notice like when he had his sunglasses off. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I was like, he looks a little old, but like not like oh it's time to retire. Just like oh he looks older than I thought he was. Like I don't really pay that much attention to like he's not like this close up on camera that often, so I didn't like notice it. But holy shit, yeah, he is 41.
yep. Says he was surrounded by the future of AEW, and they have no idea what kind of danger they're in and how dangerous John Moxley is. And if Moxley has his way, they have no future and no place to go. John doesn't need AEW. He never has, but Orange Cassidy does need AEW, and Orange doesn't exist without AEW. So he knows what he needs to do, cut the head off the snake, and make sure nobody else gets hurt. He'll do it by himself. And how does he do that? He challenges John Moxley for the AEW World Championship. He wants to take the symbol of everything the company represents out of Moxley's bag and put it in his own backpack. He tells Moxley to let him know he's not hard to find, and he's here in the ring because he's freshly squeezed, and he's the next AEW World Champion, and he still doesn't need a catchphrase. Ooh, loved it. Yeah, not bad. Uh, yeah, not bad for old Orange Cassidy there. He doesn't usually do promos, so
Yeah, I was impressed. Like every time that guy comes out of his shell, I'm always stoked for it. So this was no exception. It was great too. And like, I don't know, it felt kind of true. Like if there was no AEW, like I'm sorry, but this isn't the kind of person that ends up on NXT, or if he does, his gimmick's changed and he's not doesn't really get to be who he is. So like it actually kind of felt from the heart too, and it kind of makes it more interesting.
Yeah, I can see that. I wasn't the biggest fan. Like, don't get me wrong, Orange Cassidy delivered it fantastically, and I liked most of it. It's still, I don't like that this is becoming. We gotta stand up for AEW, everyone. We love Tony Khan. Like, I'm just not into that part of this.
Yeah.
But he did a very good job. It makes sense why he's standing up for AEW, and like what you said, Chad, it makes sense why he is defending it because it wouldn't exist without him. So like all that checks out, and I'm very interested in him and Moxley at Full Gear. I think it'll be a fantastic match.
Yeah.
how does Orange Cassidy turn heel and join John Moxley? Is that even a possibility? How do we get there?
He loses, and then like Danny Garcia is going after him at like Winter's Coming or something like that, right? Like or Hook or just pick a baby face, right? That's standing up. And Orange Cassidy comes out and like the ref goes down, but like this person's getting really close. Like maybe it is Hook because that would kind of make sense. Like Hook is getting really close. Um, and then Orange Cassidy comes out because like the Death Riders all go in the ring and they're beating him up. And then Orange Cassidy comes out and he's like, oh, he's gonna save him. And then he gives him an orange
Orange
punch.
Punch.
Yeah.
Oh
And that's how
God,
you
yeah.
end like I don't know, it could be a pay-per-view easily. I'm just saying like, maybe like a Winter is Coming, like another big show that isn't just a
Yeah.
pay-per-view.
Yeah, I kind of want that. I'd rather Orange Cassidy turn heel than Garcia. Really
I
liking
think.
Garcia's trajectory.
Well, I'll be honest. Spoilers. I'm going to give my pitch for who I would have in both brackets of the C2 later on tonight.
Ooh.
And I had Danny Garcia in it up until about 5 minutes before we started recording, and I took him out because I was like, well, I think he's going to be TNT champion by then, and I don't really want the TNT champion a part of the C2. Like, nothing against it, but it seems like you bring a title to the C2, it must be defended. There's no real like way
Right?
around it. So I don't. I think that would just mess it up. So I'm just no. I want Danny Garcia to do the TNT route.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. He's gonna be TNT champion. Like after making Jack Perry look like a little biatch later on in the episode. Yeah, I love that. By the way. So yeah, John Moxley calling out, or Orange Cassidy calling out John Moxley for a AEW World Title match. Then we get Renee Paquette trying to ask Monet and Camille who's gonna win against Camille versus Statlander. Uh, Renee wishes Camille luck, but Monet says you don't need luck when you're with the CEO. Uh, yeah, I did like Monet's get up, like
Yeah,
spooky
it
and
looked good.
And she
looked
had
great.
like the blood eyeliner dripping. It was a nice touch.
Yep,
Spooky but
she looked good.
fashionable.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Then we get the in-ring return of Adam Cole, and he
Baby.
faces Buddy
Baby.
Matthews. Buddy called him out last week and wanted to prove how fragile he was. 14 months out with injury. That's a long damn time. What was it? Grand Slam last year, right? Unfortunate, man. Surgery after surgery,
Yeah,
metal
that's crazy. Just that one
pins.
little hop down and
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so unfortunate. 14 months. You got to get cadaver bone. Ugh.
had to
yep.
get a
And he's like,
necromancer to put them back together.
oh my God. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the weird part to me, they've never faced each other. Was Buddy Matthews in NXT?
I don't
Was he?
think so, because he was a part of 205 Live, which
Yeah.
brought him onto the main roster, and then Seth
Yeah.
Rollins snatched him up. So I was about to say yes, but no, I don't think he was, which is odd. Like,
Yeah.
not besmirching him, like that's kind of a compliment because that's when NXT was on fire, was when he was in WWE, and he's like bred for that. He's that like part of that
Yeah,
super
because
indie kind of
yeah, they were
crowd.
doing the that 205 live stuff. I remember that his constant storyline was is he gonna make weight? Because the dude was jacked, and it was like, there's no way this guy's 205. And everybody's like, he's not 205. What the hell? Why is he? He's like, they'd always have him weigh in and stuff.
Funny.
Uh, yeah, cool. This is neat to me being a first time match. Uh, they shake hands. That was kind of cool. Uh, so the match is going on, and Buddy keeps egging Cole on, wanting him to get aggressive, show his true ability, his true passion, if you will. Um, Cole comes off the apron, lands weird on his ankle, and yells, "Shit!" It's looking like he might have hurt his ankle again. I was pretty scared. Tony Schiavone was like, "Are you okay?" Like it was like they didn't even know. It seemed like, but yeah, I got really worried at that point. Like, I mean, if all he did was hop down off of a stage the first time,
Yeah.
right? Like, what
Yeah.
does it take?
I
So
like how they
he,
followed up with it with Buddy Matthews coming up and like kicking his head off, like as he was like, "Ooh, ooh, ow, ow, boom."
yeah,
I thought that, and then it was like, "All right, we're going to commercial." I thought that was a very well done sequence.
that relieved my worry. because he would not have done that if
Yeah.
things were real.
Yep.
So yeah, he kicks his head off from the apron. We come back. Cole DDTs Matthew on the apron and then gives him a heat seeker, which is an MJF move. Matthews goes for Cole's ankle, stomping on his ankle while it's on the steel steps over and over. Doc Samson has to check on Adam Cole, and they start to leave and walk up the ramp. Looks like Cole's calling it quits, but Matthews calls him a little bitch, and Cole hobbles back. They have like a hockey fight. Nice little brawl. Cole uh, gives Matthews a running knee, or tries to, but he collapses. Matthews gives Cole a curb stomp, covers, but Cole kicks out. Adam Cole super kicks Matthews and gives him a running knee, covers him for a 2 count. Cole kicks out of another curb stomp at 1, starts to hulk up, and gives Matthews a Panama Sunrise in the ring and on the floor. Cole delivers the boom for the win. Uh, really great. Kyle O'Reilly's watching from the back, which I like that. I think something's gonna happen with that. He'll probably leave the conglomeration. When Orange Cassidy turns heel, the conglomeration is going to fall apart, and Kyle O'Reilly is going to go with the Undisputed Kingdom.
I
Sound
do want to
plausible?
point one thing out though. So, does an AEW camera crew just hang out at MJF's house just for these quick reaction shots?
Yeah.
Because there
Yes.
was
Of
like
course.
just that one quick shot of him watching the match and from the comfort of his own home. Like, did you set up a satellite feed and stuff? Like, it took me out just a little bit because I started thinking about the logistics of that. Like, why, why would you? Why would these camera people just be hanging out at your house and connecting via satellite for this one shot? I got to quit thinking about this.
The way I thought about it was that could have been filmed 2 weeks ago. Just him like looking
Yeah.
intently. You know what I
Oh, I'm
mean?
sure it was, but still, like, yeah, just was shoehorning that in there from his house just felt weird.
It's a bit
Yeah.
odd.
I suspended my disbelief on that, but yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you.
I thought it's one of those things where it fits MJF where he's like, yeah, I'll show up like once a week, a month, and then just be like, film everything for the month and then get it all out of the way. It fits for him. And I mean, I think he's still injured, or like maybe not injured, but like he said leading up to the Osprey match that he was still not 100%, and then he took time off right after All Out. So maybe he's still got some nagging injuries, and that's why they're doing Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, get you 3 wins, and whoever gets it first gets me at Full Gear, because that way it delays it in a pretty smart way.
Let's fantasy book Roderick Strong's first opponent.
Brody
Ooh, I
King.
still have the AEW site. Oh, I like Brody King. That's a good one.
See, I think they're gonna go a different route, man. I think they're gonna keep Cole, or no, Cole won't be Brody King because his third win will have to be Roddy.
What if MJF doesn't want to face Adam Cole, and so he's picking these opponents, even though he's not? But like, what if he picks Roddy's opponent, and it's like, I don't know,
Pretty
Chad,
Peter
don't
Avalon.
I was about to say Pretty Peter Avalon, because I was like, who's someone that can be absolutely beaten, and like no one will be sad about it, and like it'll just move on. Pretty Peter Avalon, or who's that guy? Grant Garrison,
Oh,
Gus,
Griff.
Griff.
Who the
Yeah,
fuck is Griff Garrison?
that's just have Griff come out, and like that's Roderick's second opponent, and then you do Roderick versus Adam Cole. But like because Adam Cole had to do Malachi Black and Buddy Murphy, but then like, do we really want to see Roderick Strong and MJF? I'm sure it'll be a good match, but like, What was the reasoning for Roderick Strong wanting a match with MJF that's as important as Adam Cole wanting a match with MJF?
He wanted to finish the job, I guess.
And
Together.
Adam Cole can't?
I don't know.
Wait, are
This
you
whole
telling me?
you heard me ranting earlier. I was like, they just need to scrap it and walk away. They should have just no-sold it and let them
Yeah.
all do cool stuff. Because the more they keep doing it, the worse it gets.
They should have just said, okay, we're gonna do MJF Adam Cole at Full Gear. Reasons, because money. Like, it'll make more money on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, or like when Shawn Michaels came back and like he just kind of had that thing with Undertaker. They didn't really sell it. They just like, all right, we're fighting now. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Roddy can run through all of the premier athletes.
Ooh. Yeah, I was thinking of a trio. Like
Yeah.
it's got to be another trio.
The
Yeah,
learning tree.
that'd be
Oh.
great. Top Flight. He's back.
He's been back for a
He
while
can try
now.
against LFI and they just destroy him. He goes
That would
0-3.
It's like, how did you lose to Jalistico? He hasn't won since we had Dark.
Well, I tried to fight him last. Like Roosh and the Beast Muertos just worked me over so hard.
Yeah.
Yep. Good one. Good one. Yeah, I figured it should be a trio, a different faction trio for each guy. But we'll see. We'll see. Birdie King. Well, it'll probably be Birdie King. But how does he beat Birdie King after Birdie King takes a big loss against Darby Allin at Wrestle Dream? They can't be doing that to
500
Brody.
heartbreakers. 500 backbreakers.
Oh, they can't be doing Birdie King like that.
No, but like I'm not kidding, like 500, like an absurd amount. That's like, well, if anyone got hit by 500,
Yeah. We're into hour 5 of the overrun. He's up
Yeah.
to backbreaker number 497. Is he going to hit the last 3?
Nobody knows why the ref hasn't stopped this match yet, but the ref is a sick bastard. He's a sicko. He wants this match to go to its completion.
Oh, so it's Rick Knox then.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it'll probably be Birdie King, but man, I don't think Birdie King needs to be losing. Like he needs to be a breakout single star, in my opinion. He'll
That's what
be in the
CT's
C2.
for.
Yep, he's on my list. But yeah, Cole thanks Buddy Matthews for reminding him who he is, the real Adam, or who the real Adam Cole is. Shakes his hand. Buddy looks, he smiles. Then the lights go out, and he's all of a sudden shaking Malachi Black's hand. And yeah, that's gonna be the next opponent. Oh, yeah, I thought that was good. Spooky. He's got kind of a different face paint going on. He's more black. He just hopefully he doesn't go all over his face.
Yeah, it grows until he's just accidental blackface.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
But I thought the match was quite good for Adam Cole's comeback. Buddy Matthews is great. I don't have a whole lot to say. It was just quite a good match.
Yeah, it was good. Like every time Buddy Matthews ends up doing something like yet another AEW person where I'm like, I just need more of this guy too.
Made Adam Cole look like a 11-year-old boy. Like, man, Adam Cole could have taken this 14 months to get jacked.
Yeah. Or he could have re-debuted against -1 and looked like a huge dude.
Yep.
-1 is having his first match. It's an open challenge. It's all about the boom. Adam Cole, baby. They're like, wow, Adam Cole looks huge.
Love it. But yeah, I enjoyed the match. I think they needed to put that doubt in our mind about his ankle. I got really scared when he hopped off that apron and looked like he messed it up again. But yeah, a lot of people are critiquing that the ref should have called the match and not let them get so far up the ramp. Like the ref should have just called it instead of allowing it to get to that point to
The
where
ref
Buddy
wanted
Matthews.
Buddy Matthews to taunt Adam Cole into getting back in the ring, so that's why.
Yep.
I don't know.
But yeah, it was fine. Like it didn't bother me so much. Good to have Adam Cole back. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I think he's gonna be an AEW lifer.
He did say that. I can't. I think it was Fightful or something, but he said he has no intentions of signing with another company.
Cool.
Yeah,
Could be lying, but hey, I'm gonna trust these guys.
Yeah.
At least in terms of I'm planning on staying in this company, I'm gonna trust them.
like when Monet said she'll probably go back to WWE.
That one was funny though.
I also trust her.
Hey, you know what? I feel gracious today. Monet did something funny on social media, and I want to call her out for it. She posted something on Instagram, and somebody said, "When are you coming back to Monday Night Raw?" And she said something like, "You can watch me on Dynamite every Wednesday on AEW." And so I thought that was funny, where someone was like, "What are you coming back to Raw?" And she's like, "Hello, I'm in AEW. Here you go."
Yeah, I like that. I like it.
I'll give her credit for that. I thought it was funny.
Yeah. Um, Next up, we get a private party interview in the back. Christopher Daniels walks up and says he's been through the same thing with Frankie Kazarian, ending a tag team partnership. Private Party, though, on the other hand, are confident and say history will not repeat itself. This whole bit got me worried. I'm like, oh shit, they're losing.
No,
Uh,
it did the trick. I bet on all those near falls because of it. Like I was like, oh yeah, no, they're splitting up.
Oh, I
yeah,
had this whole Dynamite spoiled for me, unfortunately. So I was just watching it for the wrestling. It's hard because I never watch it like when it's live because I don't have cable. So I can't. I have to like not go on it. Like I can't even go on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, nothing. So I get everything spoiled. And so I just watched it when I woke up today. But of course, I had like everything spoiled.
man, you are chomping at the bit for that to be on Max, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna
I
be
am.
good.
Hey,
It's gonna be.
I lied. I didn't have that Jericho segment spoiled. So at least I had something to
Thank God.
myself.
Yeah, you had something for you, treat yourself, trick or treat yourself. Uh, so yeah, they had their little promo. They were too confident. I was like, oh no, they can't be this confident. But it paid off. Then we go to Cole in the back, like sitting on a kind of a medical treatment bed or whatever you call it. He brings up all the people MJF betrayed. He will get his hands on MJF at Full Gear, and he will be happy to teach MJF another lesson. Um, cool, yeah. And he talks about like something about how what was it?
MJF was never
He
there for him.
yeah, MJF was never there for him. Even though, what were you saying, Chandler?
I'll start with Chad. Every single time they open their mouths, you just get more right and right with they just need to ignore everything
Yeah.
and just say these two guys don't like each other and they're gonna beat each other
Yeah.
up on the pay-per-view.
Let's just have ourselves a bare knuckle fight.
Yeah, but
That's it. No more promos. Just see it Full Gear. Bye.
yeah, Adam Cole said something like he wasn't there for me when I injured my ankle. And I was like, bullshit. He defended those Ring of Honor tag team titles. I remember being so upset about it, but I remember. And
Yeah.
so it's like, well, he was busy, you idiot. Like, did you want him to be like Roddy, where Roderick Strong was clearly annoying him on live television but then it's like, well, they were in the Devil Dumpling gang together, so they were colluding. So he was fake annoyed at Roddy. but he wanted Max to be there more, even though Max was defending their titles and refused to give them up. So it's like the more you dig and the more you pick, the story just falls apart.
Yeah.
Whereas all you had to do was MJF Adam Cole at Full Gear. Who's excited, guys? And everyone would have been like, yeah. And they would have just gone, that makes sense. And now Adam Cole's the face because he just was injured for 14 months. And Max was kind of a bastard for the last 3. So, like, is that easy?
Yeah. The more they try to like force it to make sense, the worse and the crazier it gets. Like I think on the Go Home show, they should just have what's his face from the meme to come out with all the lines drawn together from It's Always Sunny, trying to explain the whole feud.
Yeah.
Yeah, it like kind of turned me off, like looking at the Devil Dumpling Gang like behind him, and they're all like happy-go-lucky faces now. Like it seems weird.
They're the Kingdom from a year ago. Like they're just what they were a year ago, where they're silly, goofy, they're henchmen. They're gonna help Adam Cole, even though Adam
they
Cole
were
might
better
not
off
want
when
it.
Adam Cole wasn't there. I was actually starting to get into them. Like I was like, oh, Roddy's kind of badass, and they kind of work together. Then Adam Cole comes back, and I'm like, well,
yeah, when Roderick Strong was just, hey, I'm gonna go out there with Beast Mortos and Bruges and beat up the conglomeration. It was nice because it was like, oh, Roderick Strong is gonna be. I remember Roderick Strong in the All In Gauntlet match, and it was like, wow, Strong and Okada, Strong and Nigel, all these fun matchups with Roderick Strong, and it's like, wow, Roderick Strong is badass, and now it's like, oh, he's just silly.
He's doing the voice again. He's doing the voice again.
Adam, and like, yeah, it's so funny because Roderick Strong is talented and is funny, but like,
yeah,
I want to
see
take him seriously.
Backs. Give me more Head of Heartaches. I haven't seen it in
Yeah.
a while. I love that move.
500 of them.
Exactly.
To Brody King.
Have Roderick Strong beat someone he really shouldn't by just 500 Head of Heartaches. 500.
Yep. Book it, Tony. Then we get Don Callis and Kyle Fletcher doing a promo. Fletcher calls out Will Ospreay face to face, but Will doesn't show. But guess who does? Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi,
Oi,
oi.
oi, oi.
Mark Davis. He is back, and he has to be cleared or he wouldn't be back. Yeah, I popped pretty hard for that. Davis calls out Fletcher for his bullshit. Fletcher says Ospreay forgot about him and says Davis has a spot in the family. Mark Davis walks away and gets threatened by Fletcher. Yeah, kind of talked about it beginning of the show. I liked hearing Mark Davis on the mic. He wasn't awful. The dude's like a strong, powerful dude. I cannot wait to see him back in the ring. That match against FTR where he got hurt a year ago at Wrestle Dream, like he was doing great in that match, and I remember it pretty vividly. Yeah, love it. Can't wait to get him back in the ring. Undoubtedly, it'll be Fletcher and probably Takeshita against Davis and Ospreay.
There goes all my Aussie Open fantasies gone.
Yeah,
And this bring it back. But this was a good return. Not the greatest promo of all time, but it was needed because hey, Davis has been injured for so long. People might genuinely forget that Fletcher was in a tag team. So having him come out and saying like, "What's going on with you? Stop being a dick," and even having Kyle being like, "Hey man, I still want to team with you. Join the family," and having him be like, "Nah, because what you did to Ospreay, I'm not going to. I don't like who you are now." I thought it was very well done, very well put. My only issue was like if I didn't know any better, he kind of just looked like Kyle Fletcher's dad. Like he just didn't really look like anything like that special. I hate to say it like that, but like his shirt was untucked. He looked a little
I think
unkempt.
that was the point, though.
It could have been, yeah. Like
It's,
this is his
it's like,
past.
it's like, yeah, and like, hey, look at me. I look like a bona fide star now. Like, I'm jacked. I'm well dressed. I look great. You look like Peter Griffin. Like,
Yeah. Go work your bingo halls, kid.
yeah.
I'm a proto star. But I hate to say it, because I always get bitten in the ass, but I'm starting to like. Well, I always liked the Don Callis family because Takeshita was there, but I'm starting to get hopeful because maybe
No,
with this
it's starting to come together.
Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita's got that silly title.
Brian
That's all I need
Cage,
for
Lance
Lance
Archer.
Archer. Is Brian Cage actually in it, or is he just
Yeah,
helping out? Okay,
yeah.
okay. Hobbs, if whatever he comes back, hopefully.
I
So I
think
hate to
maybe
say it,
maybe Hobbs will come back and side with Osprey and be his heater.
or would Hobbs go
Whoa,
with the Hurt
whoa.
Business?
I think Hobbs should tag with Mark Davis.
Ooh.
That'd be interesting. See, all these places you could go. Just don't beat the Don Callis family. Just please give him a little bit of credit. Because
Um,
somehow Don Callis still has heat. He still gets booed,
Yeah,
right? Isn't that crazy that he
amazing.
still has heat?
Yeah, you think he'd like go like all good heels. Eventually, people appreciate them and start cheering them.
Well,
dude, that
Kyle Fleck.
that heat is still radiating from him turning on Kenny.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, like,
What?
you at least have heat. People still react to Fletcher and Takeshita, maybe in like 10 minutes into a match, but they still react. So, like, you can have something here. Just don't mess it up.
true.
I feel like, unfortunately, Aussie Open isn't plausible anymore. Like, Kyle Fletcher has elevated above that.
It'll
Like,
happen
he's a
someday. Not
yeah,
not like Team Hell No reunited.
yeah,
Daniel Bryan was a much bigger star after, but they still reunited, so it'll
Yeah,
happen someday.
yeah.
Fletcher's a solo star, man. He is truly gonna be something. But yeah, that was great to see Mark Davis. And I like your point of view, Chad. Like, he was meant to look like a slob compared to like this sharp dressed Don Callis family member.
And I also want to say I'm not talking about his body because at least
Yeah.
like from he looked ripped. Like he looks
Yeah.
in great shape. I'm just like I feel like Vince McMahon. I'm like tuck in your shirt. God damn it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think all that was on purpose. Like wardrobe came in, like they wanted to portray it in a certain way, like even the way they blocked it, because he's a huge dude, but the way the shot was framed, like Kyle Fletcher looked larger than life. He looks bigger, but when they were tagging, like Davis is the brick house, and he was the small flippy dude. So I think everything was just by design.
I will also say I'm quite digging Fletcher's new look. I think him turning on Osprey is a great idea, and him shaving his head so he looks less like Osprey. I'm really quite digging it. I think it's a great because I was not too hot on Kyle Fletcher because it did just feel like he was Osprey light. Like, oh, Osprey can't make it this week, but we'll throw Kyle Fletcher out. You'll get the same feeling, right?
Yeah.
But now it's like, no, he's doing his own thing. He's moving apart. And now I'm like looking forward to Kyle Fletcher and Osprey as a match. I think that'll be a great match. And now there's like a good bit of story and heat behind it.
True.
Yeah. And we'll probably get what, Takeshita and Ricochet at Full Gear?
Probably. That's what they're kind of building to. They haven't here. I'll scroll a little bit, like, because now they're announcing shit for 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
So maybe on a Collision 2 weeks out from now they've
Which is good.
announced it.
Smart. That's how you sell tickets. People
Right?
knowing what they're going to see.
Yes. Will Osprey is advertised for a Collision in a couple weeks, so
Cool.
maybe Osprey will be coming back sooner than you know it.
Well, yeah, we'll be watching Collision every week here soon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not missing any C2 matches
Right?
at all. Man, I get pumped just hearing the term C2.
As of right now, no, nothing coming up past at least next week's Dynamite. So
Yeah. Cool. Next up, we have a really incredible Hangman Adam Page promo. Um, yeah, this was really good. Uh, Renee Paquette was asking him about um, everything going on with Jay White. Hangman talks about his history with Jay White and takes credit for sending White home for 3 months, and talks about their record being 4-1, and he wants to offer redemption. There's no such thing as redemption. Not for the two of them. There's only now, only wins and losses, and the consequences that follow. Jay White doesn't know what his strategy is going to be. He knows Jay White is going to go after his leg with dragon screws and shin breakers, but Jay White won't know what Page's strategy will be. He'll leave him in the same way he's left so many others, hurt with less than he had before and left behind. Ooh, well, that gave me chills, man. His delivery is just something special. Like
Yeah.
Hangman is the most compelling wrestler I've maybe watched in my life.
he's pretty damn good. That Hangman, he's going places.
Yeah. No, and it's kind of cool because like no matter what he's doing, he seems to just buy into it and like just like become the character. It's kind of rad.
Yeah. I loved this promo, specifically the bits where he was like, "Oh, how I know how you're gonna beat me. You're gonna go after my leg. How am I gonna beat you, huh? Am I gonna hit you in the head with a chair? Am I gonna burn down your house? Am I gonna break your ankle again?" Like I liked how he's just pulling up all these bad things that he's done. He's like, "What am I gonna do to you, huh?" And
Yeah.
then again, that bit where it was, "I'm gonna leave you hurt and left behind." Like, ooh, you just don't hear promos like that where he's like, "I'm gonna hurt you so bad you're forgotten about." Like, ugh. But yeah, Hangman's fantastic. I love him right now. Um, and it's kind of crazy going from like all this pre-swerve nonsense. Like, I'm not talking about like I'm saying before he beat Swerve all out, all his promos were him yelling and just crazy and manic and all this. And now that he's beaten Swerve, he's like, I can take a step back. I'm
Yeah.
still evil. I'm still gonna kill you, but I'm not gonna scream and like because I don't need to. My
Yeah.
demons are done in his mind.
Ah,
Yeah,
man.
no, and it's like he's like, well, I'm already down here. I'm just gonna drag you with me now. Is kind of the feeling.
Yeah.
Like
Great way of putting it.
I'm down in the muck. You're coming down here. Like I love it.
And I don't know why, but I always equate Hangman as, or rather, Drew McIntyre as being the WWE equivalent of Hangman. I don't know why. Like, it just seems like they're in the same, like, part of the card and the same, like, struggles.
I can
Like,
see that. In a way, they were leading the company through a potentially bad time. I'm saying like pandemic time. Drew was champ during the pandemic, and Hangman Adam Page was champ in AEW at the tail end of when it was the worst. I think like he won it around end of 2021, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's still bad pandemic, at least where we live. So you can, and then through actions that aren't their fault necessarily, that's taking them down a dark path to where they just feel like they need to lash out and attack other people and bring them down to their level. That's a way of putting it.
Yeah.
might be a fun video for us to think of a wrestler and then their, like, opposite company counterpart.
So are you saying CM Punk and Swerve Strickland are the same?
I would put Kenny Omega as his counterpart.
As the
I
CM
think.
Punk?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe.
The anti CM Punk. Um, but yeah, great promo from Hangman. What a talent, unbelievable. Um, after that, we got Moxley and the Death Riders walk into the ring. Moxley says OC didn't challenge him for the AEW World Title. He challenged Orange Cassidy by doing what he did to Chuck Taylor. Like, loved that. That was a great spin on it. Uh, so he had the power the whole time. You know what I mean? That was good. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
Moxley calls him out for Full Gear now, anytime at Full Gear. Uh, and then they just grab Wheeler Yuta and put a chair around his neck just to lure out Orange Cassidy. Wow. And Wheeler Yuta had no idea that was coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like the shit they will do after this. Wheeler Yuta chose them over Bryan Danielson. Dude, that's what makes that group so freaking scary.
Uh, let's just say, this whole Yuta storyline may or may not play a big factor into my pitching for the C2 and
Ooh.
how I will book both sides of the bracket. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I'm making Wheeler Yuta a big part of an angle I'm very excited for. I can't believe it. What's wrong with me?
Oh my god.
I mean, that might be a good plan. But yeah, that was crazy. Just using him as bait, like without his knowledge. You just see it on his face, like, oh, like
Yeah.
what? Orange Cassidy eventually runs out and gets murdered. Then the Dark Order, Top Flight, Garcia, Private Party, all come out. Darby Allin repels from the rafters like Sting.
Okay,
Uh,
that was a little silly because it like stopped for a little bit,
Yeah.
and so he was
He
just
got a little
like
stuck.
he was just hanging there for a second. So I don't want to take away from the good moment, but that was really funny. Where it was like, what? And I'm sure that was just for safety, right? Because you want to
Yeah.
be uber safe with that. So I'm not saying that it ruined it. It was a little funny. I got a good chuckle out of it.
Yeah,
yeah, it
yeah.
was.
No, it's like the safety protocols of today just doesn't make it look as cool and unsafe as it used to be.
Yeah.
Dude, Sting would just be like, meow, and then
Yeah.
just. And here's the thing: Sting had down. He just went and unclipped that thing like nothing. Like he knew right where it was, right where to unclip it, and like Reynolds had to help Darby
Yeah. It was
unclip
kind of
it.
cute.
It was. It didn't. It didn't. Yeah. I mean, I got what the point was, and it was still the shock factor of him returning, which was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, they all brawl. The brawl spreads to the crowd, and then it dissipates up in the concourse and kind of disappears. And that's when the Bucks music hits, and after everything's done, and the tag team title match begins. Young Bucks versus Private Party. We talked about it a little earlier. Incredible, wonderful match. Like it restored the feeling. For sure. This is 2019 AEW through and through. So after the Bucks double team Private Party get the upper hand. Matthew grabs the ring bell, and Mark Quinn grabs it. tries to hit Matthew, but accidentally hits Zay with it. And I'm like, oh no, this is how they lose the match.
Right?
Uh, the Bucks beat the shit out of Mark Quinn. Zay is bleeding from it. Matthew slams his head into the steel steps over and over. Nicholas, ironically, accidentally super kicks Matthew, which kind of turned the tide a little bit. Nicholas gives Zay a Falcon Arrow off the steel steps on the floor, while Matthew gives Quinn a superplex in the ring for a 2 count. Zay makes a hot tag and overpowers the Bucks. Like we've seen this a few times. Like Zay just like making a hot tag and just cleaning house. Like it's kind of fun to watch. Like he's such an underdog too, because he's not like a jacked dude, but he can move. He's quick and really fun to watch uh, as an underdog. So that was fun. Private Party double super kick the Bucks and do stereo 450 splashes to the Bucks for a 2 count. That was awesome. The Bucks do a pendulum power bomb to Zay. Uh, Matthew covers. Zay kicks out at 2. Mark Quinn springboards on Matthew, then topes Nick on the other side, and then comes back in and dives on Matthew again. That was unbelievable. That got the crowd going crazy. Mark Quinn takes a Doomsday super kick. Doomsday device super kick, I guess might be the term for it. The Bucks drag him to the stage. Then Okada sneaks out with a shit-eating grin and tombstones Quinn on the stage. The Bucks do a gin and juice to Zay, or as Excalibur calls it, the milk and cookies. I like that
I like
because
that. That was
they
pretty
don't
funny.
they don't drink. But Zay kicks out. Big moment. Big moment. The Bucks pump up their Reeboks and super kick Zay. Nick covers, but Zay kicks out again. The Bucks go for an EVP trigger, but Zay collapses. But then he rolls up Matthew for a 2 count. Zay kicks out of an EVP trigger. All this kicking out near fall stuff was beautiful. Nicholas gives Zay a V trigger, and Matthew gives him a one-winged angel. Which, dude, that was nice seeing that move again. It's been too long.
Yeah.
Been way too long. Covers, but Quinn makes the breakup of the year. He breaks the pin just in the nick of time. Quinn and Zay hit the gin and juice and beat the Bucks for the AEW tag titles and new champions. Unbelievable. The Bucks run up and grab their belts from them, only to present them to Private Party, pats them on the shoulder, shakes their hand. Private Party celebrate in the crowd just like they did 5 years ago after beating the Bucks. Great booking, great moment. That'll be remembered for a long time. They earned
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, especially in the midst of, like, I keep calling it like their Empire Strikes Back era. Like, there's just so much like doom and gloom and the heels winning. It was like, oh, this is a good moment. I like this.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I was a little surprised when they booked this match so quickly after Wrestle Dream. Like it's only been 19 days and they're already at they're gonna split up. But like after seeing the match, it feels perfect. Where like I don't know, like would it have been better to push it out to Full Gear? Like maybe because this crowd didn't exactly know what was gonna happen. That made the match even better. That made every single kick out that Isaiah did better, and especially their win. It made it better. It took one gin and juice to beat the
Yeah.
Bucks. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's crazy good because it got the crowd to just like absolutely lose it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, when was the last
I
time you that good of a pop at a show. It was great.
Exactly. I absolutely loved this match. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. The only slight issue I have is I don't know how I feel about the Bucks having to hand over the titles at the end. Like, it does fit their characters, but it's also like, can't they just leave? But like, of like such a fantastic match, that's the only small thing I could have.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, Dave, Mark Quinn with the save of the year. Okada was silly and goofy as ever. And then like even the beginning, you didn't really mention it, but I loved how after the Death Riders left, that's when the Young Bucks come out
Yeah.
for their match. And like Private Party are out there fighting off the Death Riders and trying to help out, AEW and the baby faces. And then after they leave, I will come up. I thought that was a nice little touch.
Yeah, it was cool. And I don't know, I've heard I was listening to, I want to say Fightful, with the V trigger and the One Winged Angel. They're thinking that Dynasty, is that the one they're calling it? The
Wrestle
Japan show?
Dynasty.
They're thinking maybe that's going to be the match, is Bucks versus Golden Lovers.
I've heard
Oh,
Omega and Tanahashi.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I like that.
Better.
Tanahashi's he's gonna retire like the first week of 2026. So
Cool.
about the same time frame we have for Cena. So
Nice.
Yeah, I'd rather have Tanahashi than Bushi.
Yeah,
You all know how I feel about him. He never did it for me.
brother.
yeah.
Not impressed.
Excellent match. Kudos to both teams in this. And quite frankly, a lot of people have been very critical of the Bucks. I don't think I have. I think I have enjoyed them less than I enjoyed them in the okay, I've not been that critical of them since the Sting match. That's what I'll say. And like I think I've only just liked them less, or I thought their role hasn't been as good, but I've always liked them. And so I will miss the Bucks. I can't believe I'm saying that, considering when I first started watching AEW, I was like, these guys suck. Why do people like them? Remember, that's when they would lose a match and then throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah, you came in at the wrong time. Like they are doing some weird character stuff for
It was to get to here because it was them having a mental breakdown, and now they have to use their right as the EVP and blah blah blah. But I enjoyed their EVP run, and I hope they get back soon, and I hope Nick Jackson gets well soon.
Yeah, same. And whatever documents they are shredding, I hope never come to light.
Yes.
Yeah. And the cool thing to me about this match, Private Party didn't need Stokely Hathaway.
Mm-hmm. They didn't need anything. They just needed themselves, and they needed Christopher Daniels to be like, you better win or you'll toner up like me. And they were like, oh no, we want a future in this company. We gotta win.
Now, that being said, do you think there will be an eventual Private Party split up angle?
No, not anytime soon.
Maybe a long way down the line, but I'm ready for the Private Party era. It's gonna be good.
Yeah,
real good. But cool, yeah. Great match. That was my match of the night, obviously.
Oh yeah, that was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
I thought
but
the
yeah,
Jericho segment was a better match than that, but
who am
we'll
I,
just
right?
disagree. Agree to disagree.
All right, is it time to do the thing?
Yeah.
Dyna Nitro already. Wow.
But yeah, after that we get Jamie Hayter and Penelope Ford face to face. Ford says she has been in AEW from day one, and she's taking back what Jamie Hayter took from her. And like, I'm still a little foggy on this. Like, did Jamie Hayter injure her? I thought she was her partner in the last
I think Jamie Hayter's
spotlight
popular,
or
and
spot.
Jamie Hayter popular, Penelope Ford not. So Penelope Ford, go. I'm gonna beat you up. because you're not. I want your spot. I think it's that simple.
Okay, that's rudimentary. I can jive with that. That's
It makes
okay.
sense. Look at their returns, right? Jamie Hayter did get a big pop. It was on the pre-show, but she did get a big pop, and she was treated as like, holy shit, Jamie Hayter's back, guys. This is really cool. Whereas Penelope Ford was back, and it was like Christian going back to ECW, where Todd Christian was just like, it's Christian. You know, they're just like, it's Penelope Ford.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, Jamie Hayter says she's gonna mop the floor with her next week. So that should be a good match. I kind of, man, I wanted to check out Collision to watch Penelope Ford versus Lady Frost, I think was her return match. I mean, she won, obviously. So yeah, I like Penelope Ford. Like she had a, a tough break there, getting injured for so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was kind of the workhorse during the pandemic, uh, for sure. So yeah, I'm a Penelope Ford fan. I like Jamie Hayter. I appreciate too, like I don't think they're doing this wrong by having Jamie Hayter not just jump into the uh, you know, top of the women's division right off the bat. I want her to have to kind of climb the rungs
Yeah.
and get back there, like after being gone for so long. So I appreciate that. She can maybe move on to, I don't know, not Willow because she's hurt, but I don't know, someone else a little bit higher on the card after this feud, and then get up to maybe Mariah May. I don't know, but I don't want her to lose to Mariah May.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Thunder
Um,
Rosa.
yeah, man, Thunder Rosa is like really low on the card at this
She's on
point.
Collision. She's on Collision.
Yeah, her and Harley Cameron, I believe.
Yeah, they're having a Dia de los Muertos match. No, it's
Yeah.
just a Day of the Dead match. Never mind, but it's something. Yeah, I was gonna bring up the other Collision matches at the end, but we will be having a Collision this weekend.
Yeah,
It is happening.
well, it is happening. No C2 yet, so
Yeah.
we will be
Soon.
reviewing Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling Night 2 instead of Collision. But yeah,
Night one just posted.
Ooh.
awesome. Cool. So let's see. After that, we get a little Swerve and Shelton Benjamin, kind of a hype package. I like how they did all the stats, their height, weight, hometown,
Yeah.
finishing
Tail
moves,
of the tape.
signature moves. I thought that was cool. They don't do that enough in AEW, and I think they should do that a lot more
Yeah.
for every main event. Every main
Yeah.
event on Dynamite, they should do that.
Have a little fun with it.
Yep, thought that was cool. Then we get the segment of the night. Chris Jericho promo.
Finally, took you so long to get to the best part of Dynamite.
He says Dave Meltzer gave the ladder match with him and Briscoe 4 stars.
Oh my god. Hey. Look at my notes, guys. It's the stop bringing up Meltzer part. Stop it. Please, for the love of God. Don't mention cage match. Don't mention Meltzer.
Oh, if you say his name 3 times, he'll appear. Don't do it again.
Meltzer.
Shit.
I will say that should have been my costume. I should have been Dave Meltzer. Have you guys seen the bit? And stop me if I brought this up, but they're doing a recording of the radio, Wrestling Observer Radio, and it's Brian Alvarez and Dave, right? And Brian Alvarez is talking about something, but he has to sneeze, right? And so he mutes himself. He's like, chew. And it's like 7 seconds. Then he comes back and he's about to say something and has to sneeze again. And it's like 17 seconds of dead air because Dave is just sitting there like this. And Brian is sneezing. And then Brian comes back and he goes, "Thanks for covering for me, Dave." And Dave goes, And so like it's like just pure comedy because Brian is sneezing and he's muted, so it's just dead air. And Dave is like, "Oh yeah, you're welcome." So I'll have a podcast one day where I'm pretending to be Dave Meltzer and my camera will be like the worst quality. It'll be at an awful angle like this. And I'll just be like you guys will be like, "What was your opinion?" I'll be like, "Nah."
Yeah. Love it. No, you have not told that story or mentioned that before. That's good.
It's the best thing they've done all year. It's the best thing.
But yeah, he brings up Dave Meltzer. He calls Cleveland, Cincinnati. He puts over Terrifier 3, which he is
He
in, and
starred and quarterbacked.
yeah. He
That
did all that.
that part was funny. I'm fine with like heels being delusional. Like when MJF was like, "I beat Osprey in a minute." That was funny, right? Because he's just straight up like delusional, so it's fine.
True.
A little fun fact: today, when the stock market closed, Art the Clown rang the bell on Wall Street today.
That okay, that's so weird. That is so weird, but like
Halloween.
cool. It's cool, but it's like, why
Apparently,
not?
it's doing great. Like the movie, like
Huh.
Well, I
it's like
think there's no other horror movies out right now. So it's like it's doing well because it's Halloween and it's like it's a well-made horror movie. I would say that.
yeah. So he says he's going to take Ring of Honor to the biggest stage it's ever seen. Keith Lee says, never, what was it? Never underestimate, or I can't read my
Yeah, I think
writing.
never underestimate Chris
Chris
Jericho.
Jericho, you dumbasses. So yeah, that was that. What did you love about it, Chandler?
I It feels surreal that he held the stupid FTW title for like 3 or 4 months or whatever. And we were just like, God, I can't wait for this to end. And it's been what 2 months and he already has another title.
Yeah.
So how can Tony Khan, like I know he's critically online. I know he is. He's chronically online. How can he see all this hate and like all these Jericho boos and be like, Mark Briscoe should lose to Chris Jericho? That's a great idea. We should put another belt on Chris Jericho. That's a great idea.
I mean, in the early days of AEW, Chris Jericho walked in on Tony Khan with a hooker or
Right.
something.
Yeah,
He's got something on him.
something. He's got some dirt on the cons, and like it's like it's like dirt so bad it will ruin AEW, and that's why Jericho gets to do whatever the hell he wants. Jericho is like one more "please retire" chant from saying, "Tony, I want to be the one that beats Moxley."
Yeah. Right.
Some picture of Tony Khan doing blow with Marty Squirrel and uh, who's that
P
other
Diddy.
guy?
Joey
Who's that
Ryan.
guy? Joey Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah. Off of Joey Ryan's schlong.
Yep, something.
So
He's got
Chandler's like,
something.
I am not impressed. I'm
so
leaving the podcast.
no, it's just like, how did we get here, man? How did we get here? What happened? Seriously. If we're at the point where a lot of people are like, Jericho's going to go back to WWE after his contract is up because then people might cheer him. And I kind of believe that because, like, I don't know. I like every time I give Jericho a little bit of like, I'll like I remember after the Hook match at All In, I was like, you know what? That was a good match. Great ending. I'll give him a little bit of like credit. But like, boom, it's gone. I'm back to just being like, I'm sick of Jericho. I don't
Doom.
want to see him anymore.
But yeah, that promo happened. And again, don't tell me you're gonna make ROH better and bigger. Just do it.
He's gonna do it by main eventing Dynamites for the Ring of Honor World Championship.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, moving along, we get a Anna Jay and Mariah May video package. Uh, then we get Marvez trying to talk to the Bucks, and Jack Perry walks up and tells Marvez to get lost. Garcia walks up and shoves Jack Perry against the wall and says his he's going to take his title and calls him a piece of garbage. And dude, he slammed him against the wall too. That was great. Uh, and yeah, Perry looked like a little bitch. uh, kind of reminded me of CM Punk.
I did like that little they used to dance for me too kind of line. I was like, oh, that was kind of chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Perry goes into the locker room and Brandon Cutler's frantically shredding documents, and the Bucks are frantically packing up their shoes and
And Okada's
suitcases.
just sitting there like,
Yeah.
he's just waiting. He's like chill. He's chill, dude.
That segment was genius. I'm like,
Mhm.
what are they shredding?
Yeah, I gotta know.
Probably those pictures.
Yeah, like randomly Jericho's gonna lose to the belt back to Mark Briscoe. We're like, oh, Jericho's gone. What the hell? What happened?
But yeah, I thought that was really fun. Garcia looked like a freaking badass. I loved that. He's got to be taking that belt off Jack Perry. It's just time. And yeah. After that, we get Chris Statlander versus Camille. Camille shoulder tackles Statlander. Statlander drop kicks Camille. Statlander power slams Camille and drives Camille into the mat. Statlander Statlander misses a 450, and Camille capitalizes with a torture rack slam. Statlander counters a tombstone pile driver with a Wednesday Night Fever for the win. While Statlander's in the ring after her win, Monet hits her with the TBS title and tells Camille to go to the back. If you want something done right, you do it yourself. Ooh. So this is going to be that friction between Camille and Monet, right?
Yep.
Totally.
Yeah. I thought the match was fine, but I liked everything Monet did this week. I thought her backstage promo was good, and I liked her performance tonight where, like, every time Camille was getting hit, she looked like, oh, shit, like, what's going on? Like, how are you able to beat up Camille? And her bit at the end where she was like, she didn't, like, beat up Camille. She didn't, like, hurt her, right? Because that's kind of dumb, but, like, she's like, just go to the back. I'm sick of you, right? Like, that was neat. So I thought it was, it got the job done. Statlander beating Camille and being her first loss makes a lot of sense, and I'm actually looking forward to this Monet Statlander feud. They're slow cooking it, but I think they got something.
Yeah, what do we got? Like 3 weeks to full gear? So
Yeah.
some time to slow build that one. And yeah, I think Monet's finally hitting her AEW stride. Maybe like difference because she worked in WWE for years, so maybe just like differences in styles, and maybe she's kind of getting how AEW works now. Because yeah, she's kind of starting to work for me a little bit.
Adam Copeland was a little shaky when he first came to AEW because he was like, "Oh, this like no one's writing my promo bit." Like he was a little like he tried to be off the cuff a little too much, and it wasn't really working. But
Yeah.
it's work. He like definitely came into his stride a bit later, and maybe Renee's doing the same thing, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
They just need to keep whatever she says down to like 2 sentences.
Yeah, keep it short and sweet. But like I thought she was like a bit intimidating tonight.
Yeah.
Like against
She's
even someone like Statlander. I'm
intimidating
like,
and smarmy, and like her interaction with Pat Cat earlier in the day too. Like, it's working.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow, weird that we're all feeling that way.
Hey, she's incredibly talented. She just had an old. I'm just gonna chalk it up to her being injured for like a year,
Yeah.
and she's like getting back. She's getting into the swing of things.
Her promos in WWE weren't great, were they?
No,
Depends
but
on who she was working with.
you could also blame that on she was in the company when Vince was around, so everything was like, you're gonna say this and you're gonna rehearse it a million times, and I'm sure that's not the best. So
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, and I always felt like, she was working with like Charlotte Flair. She always did pretty good, but Charlotte Flair always brought the best out of everybody. So like, yeah, I feel like a lot of it had to do with like who she was working with at the time too.
Yeah, I feel like Camille was a little clunky in this match. Like she was kind of like seemed a little like choreographed for me, like letting Statlander like do a move to her, like kind of like, and then kind of being led around the ring and just kind of like wobbly, extra wobbly when she probably didn't need to be. Like it just seemed a little off to me. Um, I don't know if Statlander should have been able to beat her as easily as she did, but yeah, it wasn't awful. I think Statlander's had better matches, and um, I was really big on Camille when she debuted. I was waiting for it for a very long time, but maybe with her potentially splitting with Monet, that could lead to something really good. So.
Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, Camille, it was like, came in, it's like, whoa, look at that. Like I was kind of definitely hoping for more, but yeah, hopefully she finds that right opponent that kind of drags some good matches out of her.
yeah, maybe Monet and the Camille split up is sooner than we think, because start sowing them seeds.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm all right with that. Then we get a patriarchy promo. What you were kind of talking about earlier, Chandler, about appreciating the like goofier heels more now that dangerous Death Riders are running amok. Like I appreciate Christian Cage so much more
Oh
now.
yeah, I'll always love
Like
Christian.
love it. He invites Hook to talk with the patriarchy so they can explain themselves. Uh, there's a theory going around that Hook attacked his own dad. Tell me what you think of that.
Why? What? Like, what's the? Like, I predict, or
So he
I
can
have a
join.
theory
So he can join the
that
Death Riders.
why would Taz prevent him from joining the Death Riders? Or so like Taz wouldn't be disappointed in him?
To prove himself to the Death Riders.
Well, then well, that does no. I'm saying no, because when Moxley was choking out Danielson, Hook was there. Hook
Yeah.
was a part of those baby faces where he was like,
One of those guys who came out are turning. There's a lot of people there. One of
I
them,
think
some of them have to turn.
I think the loss to Moxley is gonna fuck up Orange Cassidy, like mentally. So I'm saying that. I'm saying
Yeah,
Orange Cassidy
he's the
makes more
one.
sense. But yeah, Hook is good. I like Hook. I'm looking forward to Hook and Christian. And when we get to talking about next week's Dynamite, we're getting a Hook and Christian face to face. So,
Ooh, that'll be fun.
I like how Kip Sabian is just like part of the patriarchy
Yeah.
now.
yeah,
That's
whatever.
fine.
What?
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I had an epiphany while you were talking, right? Because Moxley, right? He's got this title, but Christian's still the next AEW World Champ, supposedly, right? You know how I keep pitching Darby Allin to beat him at Revolution, and that may be a little bit too early, but like put whatever babyface in your head is going to beat Moxley at whatever time, right? Anyone. Bryan Danielson coming back getting his revenge, Kenny Omega, Daniel Garcia, Will Ospreay, literally anyone, it doesn't matter, right? Just pick any babyface that beats Moxley at any time. That's when Christian Cage cashes in.
Nice.
Come on. Come
dude.
on. We're all like, yay, Darby. And then da 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 do 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 do. Yes. My father, Christian Cage. Come on. Just
Come
rip
on.
and then like the next pay-per-views, the babyface wins it back. Like I would definitely have that. But you get Christian as a champ for 1 month, and it would be the funniest thing ever.
True.
You need a hot potato situation.
Yeah, they've never done that with that.
Never
belt.
done it. Nope. I
I
mean,
kind of
in the
thought that would be
beginning,
this year.
yeah, in the beginning, I got it. Like they wanted to give it some prestige and make it mean something. But I think we've hit the point to where, like, remember when like Mick Foley had it for a week, then like The Rock had it, and Stone Cold had it, like all like boom, 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 boom. WCW was handing that thing out twice on a Nitro.
It happens.
We don't need
it
that.
Happens.
We don't need that. But
Yeah.
I want some hot potato reigns here. I don't want them to get carried away with it, but someone can win it on a Dynamite even, like. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We got to get through this Death Riders stuff.
Mm-hmm. Christian will kick that off. Christian will kick off the hot potato because it'll be, we'll just say Darby, then Christian, then Darby in like a month. And then it'll go to, that makes Darby a 2-time AEW World Champion. And then,
Ospreay
beats Darby at Forbidden Door because it's
you guys
London.
are missing the obvious one.
The Outrunners beat Ospreay at All In, and they cut the belt in half.
Yeah. Ain't he great? Double J Jeff Jarrett is going to be the one that takes down John Moxley.
I can only wish, man. I can only dream of that. That'd be what I want.
I've been showing restraint. I don't say Takeshita's going to beat Moxley. I'm trying to be realistic. But Double J Jeff Jarrett, why not? That'd be funny.
I would be okay with that. But yeah. Then we get a Mark Briscoe promo. The word of the day is instability. He says Jericho shouldn't have invoked Jay's name again, and challenges Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith to a 3-way conglomeration match. Yeah, that's kind of feeling a little like,
aren't we so
just
glad
quit saying his name, please? I'm tired of this.
Aren't we glad this Learning Tree conglomeration feud is going to keep going? I'm not sick of it at all.
Do me a favor and say Joe Hendry's name, because that would be hilarious.
It'd be something. Yeah. Say his name, he'll appear. I don't believe in Joe Hendry right now because I don't think he's going to come. Yeah, so that is a match we're getting on Dynamite next week is Conglomeration and Learning Tree.
I think I might just take that day off work so I can watch that one live so it doesn't get spoiled for me.
I'm going to be honest with you, looking at these Dynamites and who's in like the center, like, because it's the big stars that they're advertising, and then like the little other guys that might be there. Chris Jericho's in the middle of those guys a lot in these next coming weeks. So I am warning you that Jericho is going to be on Dynamite a lot in these upcoming weeks.
He's never taken time off in 5 years.
Yeah. So
never. Yeah. Anyway, he was going to elevate Ring of Honor.
He already has.
Yeah, it's already happened, so he could probably just drop the title because he did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Then we get the Young Bucks hastily leaving the arena with suitcases. Christopher Daniels tries to talk them into staying, says AEW needs them, but they get in their car and drive off. Here comes Brandon Cutler coming around the corner uh, with a box of shoes and says, "Don't leave me." Then the Death Riders walk up and handcuff Cutler to a forklift, and Claudio smashes his hand with a floppy
Definitely
rubber
not
hammer.
rubber hammer.
No, it was real, brother.
I
It was
was like,
real.
oh, come on, make that look a little more. They did great with Isaiah Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
That one looked good. Like you just kind of gotta like hit it and like get the hammer out of the like shot real quick. But he just like, boing, 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 like right.
He hit him, and
Uh,
then he went, "Wow, look at how strong my hammer is!" As it's like, what?
yeah. But yeah, I thought that was cool though. I just pretended like the hammer was real and it made it cooler. Poor Brandon Cutler. Um, then we get our main event of the evening. I was very looking forward to this match because I knew the implications of this match, no matter who won. Swerve Strickland versus Shelton Benjamin. Swerve was with Nana. Benjamin was with MVP. Swerve gives Benjamin a head scissors takeover. Then Swerve arm locks Benjamin in the ring post. Aubrey has to count to 5. Benjamin slams Swerve into the uh, barricade, then the apron, and then back on the barricade. That was brutal. I love that.
Yeah.
Uh, Looked like a maniac. Shelton Benjamin tossed Swerve like a rag doll, just like he did Sammy Guevara last week. It's kind of a suplex, right? Or what was he doing? He just like picked him up and whoop, threw him like a.
Just threw him. Yeah, I don't know.
I think they're just trying to show he's strong, and he's just gonna throw him around, have a little fun with him.
Unbelievable. Then he kicked Swerve out of the ring. Shelton Benjamin released German suplexes Swerve. Uh, Looked beautiful. Swerve gives Shelton a backbreaker, but then Benjamin gets Swerve in an arm lock. Swerve escapes. Shelton counters a flatliner with a suplex and a cover. Swerve hits Shelton Benjamin with a house call and a 450 splash, covers for 2. Shelton Benjamin deadlift German suplexes Swerve and gives him a high knee in the corner. Swerve hits Shelton Benjamin with another flatliner. Swerve Liger bombs Shelton Benjamin and hits a Swerve stomp for the win. Then they show MVP taking out his phone and making a phone call. You hear him say, "It's time."
Roman Reigns. Oh wait, never
It's
mind.
time. It's Vader time. No wait.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, the lights flicker. Do you think they meant to keep them off?
No, I think that was just a mess up because they dimmed it for Bobby's entrance. So maybe they were like gonna dim it, but they just like, oops, I tripped. And like I think people
Yeah,
thought the House of Black was coming out because they went, ah! And then they came out like, oh, that was
yeah.
really I love it when there's little things like that where I'm not like, I ruined my immersion, but it's like tee hee, that's a little funny.
Yeah. So the lights flicker and we hear boom, 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 boom. Uh,
Almost.
how close is that theme to his WWE theme?
Look, WWE did the same thing with Jade Cargill, okay? They just go, you got a song that people know? We're gonna like do half of it. and people will know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
So Bobby Lashley walks through the tunnel. The crowd is going crazy. Then the Hurt Syndicate beat down Swerve and Nana. Then the security guards come out. They get destroyed. MVP gets on the mic and says, uh, "What is
I think he said business is picking up.
guess who's back in business?"
Oh, that one.
Uh, so yeah, did you happen to hear 90 seconds?
Oh, I
30,
did.
30 seconds.
That
Yeah.
was bad. That was like, can't you have someone be like, and then, not
Yeah.
like 90 seconds, Bobby. Come on, 90 seconds. But this
Yep.
was a good match. Great to see Swerve back. Shelton's crazy. Nice Bobby debut. Like, nothing wrong with this. Very, very
Yeah.
good main event segment.
Yeah, it was very well done. Like, it was one of those, like, it was very predictable, but in the best of ways. Like, it was exactly what I wanted it to be.
I'm glad we didn't get Swerve choked out and then Danielson choked out in the same night. It was very smart to delay those.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the original plan, but they had the wherewithal to be like, no, we're not going to do that.
It feels very Vince McMahon-y.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Bobby Lashley. I've never seen a Bobby Lashley match, even when he was in TNA. I believe when he was in TNA, he just went by Lashley, also, if I remember correctly. Is that his real name? Is that how he's able to use that?
I think so.
I'm glad he didn't have to like change his name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to see like the AEW write-up, what they say. Like, is it Bobby Lashley or just Lashley? Like, what do they call him?
Ron said Bobby is big
Mm.
screen. So
Huh.
and they called him Bobby Lashley too. So that's cool. I'm very looking
So
forward
okay,
to
they call him. Sorry, they call him Bobby Lashley. Walked down the aisle. So I think Bobby Lashley. I think he's Bobby Lashley.
Cool.
that
But yeah,
works,
this is
man.
one of the best Dynamites of the year, I would say,
Yeah.
easily. Minus, like, again, when it's kind of like back in the day when we would say the worst thing was the Jericho segment. That's a good thing because the Jericho
Right.
segment's always going to be bad. It's bad when Jericho has competition.
True.
But this was an excellent Dynamite. It both had great matches and great story building.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ready for a little Dyna Nitro?
I
Yeah.
am. I'm
5
gonna
minutes, 4 seconds.
what?
Oh, sorry. I thought we were on that part already.
I'm gonna blaze through this because it's not that interesting, but we of course got to go through it. They're getting pretty close to us. October 13th, 2000. This is taking. Holy shit! It's Melbourne, Australia. I didn't know they did nitros in Australia. That's
Whoa.
pretty cool.
Huh.
Apparently they had an attendance of 10,000 in
Jesus.
2000. What the fuck? Never mind. This is funny. WCW World Tag Team Title. The Natural Born Thrillers, Mark Jindrak and Sean O'Hare, who are the champions, defeated Boogie Knights, Alex Wright, and Disco.
I love that.
It's DISQO, but I'm assuming that's just Disco Inferno.
Yeah.
6-man tag team match. We had Team Canada, Elix Skipper, Jim Duggan. Team Canada, and it's Jim Duggan.
Whoa.
And Lance Storm defeated the Misfits in Action, Corporal Cage and Lieutenant Loco and Sergeant AWOL. A 3-on-1 handicap match. The Filthy Animals, Conan, Rey Mysterio Jr., and Tigress defeat the Franchise by DQ. That was a minute 21, so let your minds just kind of think about how that went. Crowbar and Mike Awesome defeat The Perfect Event, which is Chuck Palumbo and Sean Stasiak. Okay, I'm gonna do time for this one. Kwee Wee defeats Johnny the Bull. How long did that match go? How long?
Minute 3.
47 seconds.
22 seconds. You guys are going way
Damn!
too long. This is a proper WCW classic. This is a WCW World Heavyweight Title match. Booker T as champ defeated Shane Douglas. Okay, one more. Goldberg defeated David Flair. How long? How long did it take Goldberg to defeat David Flair?
43 seconds.
17 seconds.
Minute 05. This was an Iron Man
Oh.
match, especially for Goldberg.
Ah.
Scott Steiner defeated Billy Kidman, 2-minute 15 seconds. Jeff Jarrett defeated Conan. Conan doing double duty, 2 minutes 53 seconds. And then this is a lumberjack match. Kevin Nash with Chuck Palumbo, Mark Jindrak, Mike Sanders, Sean O'Hare, and Sean Stasiak defeated Sting, 7:05. So like kind of a mediocre Nitro. Nothing like there's no Viagra on a pole. There's no Vince
Sort of
Russo
a-
winning the title. It's just like
sort
I
of a filler
guess.
match.
Yeah. Do we want to very briefly talk about what's coming on Collision and Dynamite?
Yeah.
Okay. Collision has Kyle Fletcher versus Commander, which will be good. The Day of the Dead match between Thunder Rosa and Harley Cameron. And then the AEW Women's World Champion Mariah May taking on Anna Jay. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I like how
Should
they've
be
been
good.
I like how they've been building up Anna Jay lately.
Yeah.
Not as like the most credible name out there, but like they've given her credit, which is more than the start of the year. So
Yeah, she's in the mix. You know, not like the A story, but at least she's always popping up.
mm-hmm. Next up, we have Dynamite, Penelope Ford and Jamie Hayter. Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin versus Claudio Castagnoli and Pac. I don't know where that match came from, but that'll be exciting. Adam Cole and Malachi Black. The Learning Tree and the Conglomeration. Apparently, this is a Fight Without Honor trios match. So I think that's just a street match. And then Christian and Hook have a face-to-face. This is where we find out Hook is the one who beat up Taz.
Cool, yeah. Thank you guys for joining. That was a lot of fun. Really fun Dynamite. Best one of the year for me.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Cool. All right. Well, don't forget out there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. We appreciate you. We're also in the audio realm where all your favorite podcasts are found. Apple, Spotify, Amazon.
Podbean, and all the other ones.
Maybe a few more too. But yeah, check us out. We enjoy doing this show. We don't do this full time, but one day we will.
Yeah, 90 seconds.
That's not a promise. That's a spoiler. Ooh.
Ooh. All right. Well, I'm gonna do the old thing.
Do the thing.
Peace.
Happy Halloween.